Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday morning. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. So, guys, first I want to say you're going to hear a lot of pounding, and it's you may have heard it like throughout the week, but it's getting louder and louder because they're getting closer to my house. I live in a new construction zone, so they're still building. And now they're making their way, I guess, even more closer to me. So please, 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 if you guys can kind of just block that pounding out whenever they start again. Next, I received so many emails after my conversation with Mr. Steve in regards to the topic that we were talking about towards the ending of the recording. And that was a gentleman's perspective on TikTok on interracial dating. So I want to just clarify again, that was not my perspective at all. He made a recording, and I was just saying that so many people, I mean, at least 70,000 at that point, had agreed or just say that they never saw that his perspective from that point. And I'm one of those people. I never really heard anyone break it down the way he broke it down. And I was like, you know, you may be onto a little something. Again, I'm not saying that all of it is 100% true. Again, there's nothing in life that's a one-size-fit-all category. It's just not. Everybody didn't have the same experience. They just didn't, right? So I'm going to share first what he shared, and then maybe a few things of what I think. Okay, so basically he was a white gentleman. He was married to a black lady. And when he first started off the recording, he was saying that he had done his own research, some statistics, as well as things that he and his wife had went through, being an interracial couple, etc. So he was saying that the reason why statistics has shown or proven that white men and black women have a more successful marriage is because those two individuals, quote unquote, are considered to be the more powerful individuals. Okay. So by the white men being conditioned very early on, and again, of course, this is not everybody, because trust me, I know people who didn't have the same experience, right? I know some white men who struggled, like they didn't have trust funds and they didn't have things given to them. So my point is not everybody, but just bear with me as I try to break down his perspective. So he's saying that because the white man pretty much was conditioned to be a leader, right? Because he pretty much had the success, the definition of success, society's definition of success, driven into his mind very early on, and let that be he had trust funds. Let that be he was willed the family business or whatever. But the mindset very early on, he was conditioned to be a leader, a provider, this is that, and all that stuff like that, right? Okay, so then that put him in the category of being a strong leader. Where with black women, even though we really should not have been conditioned to be that strong, the fact of the matter is we were. Again, not everyone. So a black woman was taught very early on to be strong, to be the leader for different reasons. Again, many times the black fathers were not in the household, right? So then your mother had to condition you to be strong, to be a leader for different reasons, to be able to defend yourself, right? So when things does happen to you, because your father isn't there to protect you, you have to be strong in certain areas. And then as well as you had to learn how to run a whole household as a child, because maybe your parents or your single mother was out working 3 and 4 jobs. So at the end of the day, it's still all about conditioning of that leader mindset. So no, you're not conditioned to go out here and run $1 million companies and things like that, or provide for a whole family, but it's still conditioned to be strong. All right, so now we have the white men and the black women in the category of being extremely strong. On the flip side, you have white women. Again, not all, because I literally have some white friends. And when I tell you they're just as strong as some of the sisters, right? So again, it's not And I have to keep reiterating that, right? Because I don't want anybody to get offended. So it's not one size fit all. So now you have the white women where a lot, right, or even the majority have been coddled all of their lives. It's almost like, I'm trying to be careful with my wording, but I don't know. Let's just take it as, okay, their fathers were there, right? So they were coddled. They didn't have to have that mindset of fight or flight. They always felt safe. Then you have society who allows them to feel safe, right? Because it's almost like, well, let me leave that alone. All right. So they were always coddled. So they never really had that need or that desire or that urge to have to fight or flight because they always felt safe. Black men, again, not all, have been broken down so bad by their own, sometimes, and this is a conversation that's not talked about often, but sometimes by their own mother. Every mother is not that nurturing mother. Some individuals, including a lot of black men, have had the experience of toxic mothers who basically told them they're not nothing, they're never going to be anything. And that can be for a number of reasons. It could be maybe that their father was gone and then the mother kind of took it out on them. It's almost like when I see my son, I see my husband or his dad. I hate his dad, so I don't want anything to be, to do with him being in my face because I have this flashback of his dad. Or another example, it could be just a mother who is burnt out because she is working 3 and 4 jobs. And then the son is acting out because the father isn't there or because of other traumatic experiences that he could be dealing with right in the own household. But because men are taught not to express or share emotions, whatever he could be dealing with, he's suppressing all that stuff. Now he goes to school and act a fool, right? Now the principal is calling the mother off of her job. She comes and tear him up. Extension cords, whatever they may be, because in her mind, I'm out here working 3 and 4 and 5 jobs and you're acting a fool in school. But why is he acting a fool? That's many things that parents don't tap into because they don't know how. So now when he gets home, she's calling him out his name. You're this, you're a sissy, you're that, you're that. Just belittling him. And this is more common than you think. Okay, so that's his experience as a child. Now he enters a world where the system is designed and set up against him. What is the chances that he will get a job over a white guy with a very long resume because he had all that extensive training and upbringing within his household? Because both parents were there. The father was successful in his own right because of generational wealth, the whole 9 yards. So now you got men out here who are trying to get a job and then they're being rejected. Well, all that stuff is going to also bring back that trauma from what he experienced in childhood, being told that he wasn't good enough and he will never be anything, etc. Rejection, etc. So now he's going through all that. Now he has to deal with the police, right? All this craziness is going on, racism, all that stuff, just to come home. And the black woman, who doesn't even realize she's doing it, sometimes, most times, not all, because some women are just intentional about breaking their men down, right? And sometimes not intentional. She's just doing what she saw her mother do, emasculating her man. So how would a man see that if the world is against him? And the odds are stacked against him. And now he comes home and we're saying the same exact thing that his toxic, traumatized mother did. His boss at the job. Everything he's going through with society and the police and not being able to even provide properly for his family, even when he's trying. Some don't try. That's a different topic, different conversation. But we're talking about the ones who are truly trying. And now he has to come home to say, well, he didn't get the job, but can't even express truly how he feels because of the fact that he was taught and conditioned to hold all his emotions in. So he can't even break down to you what he's really feeling when he's up against a white man, or when his boss is belittling him, or maybe an event that he had with the police officer. He can't even come home and express that to you because men were taught not to express or show their emotions. And now you're thinking he's just being a-hole, right? So now you're calling him trifling, you're calling him this, you're calling him that, all this stuff. So the fact of the matter is, he pretty much have been dehumanized for a very long time, right? Belittled, the whole 9 yards. So we're going to put the white woman and the black men in the category over here. Even though his situation is opposite of the white woman. Keep in mind, the white woman has been coddled. The black man has not been, but he needs to be. So, all right, let's go back over here with the strong black woman and the white powerful man. Well, when these two get together, the white man is going to see a black woman's strength as amazing. He's going to be attracted to that because that's what he's conditioned to see, or to know that we are supposed to really be out here stumping grounds, going to get it, right? So he see her as a partner now. So it's like he's not going to be constantly down her head about, oh, you're too strong, you're too this, you're too that. If anything, he see that as a benefit. And so now you get to be yourself. You're not having to suppress who you are as a woman. Because, listen, one thing I've learned to accept is this right here. Be who you are. Because when you are being, again, your authentic self, the right individual will find you, right? It will link up, and it will last because it's natural. No one is trying to change anyone. So you get to be yourself. So that's beautiful. That's secure. That's wonderful. So why are we divorcing? We get to be our individual self, both of us. But when you're in relationships where the person is changing you and making you to suppress, causing you to suppress who you really are, what happens? You grow frustrated because your voice is silent, your true self is silenced. So you grow frustrated. So now there's tension that adds to other areas of tension within the household. So in his theory, the white men and the black woman do well together because the black woman can be herself. The white man sees her strength as the very same thing he got, and then there's power in that. On the flip side, white men are also taught very early on. Some black men are taught the same thing, but white men are taught very early on to protect and to provide. Even if she is strong. Even if she's making her own money, he still will provide for her because he's taught to do that. Well, the black woman who never felt safe now sees that as a place of safety and secureness. So now she gets to be her true, authentic, strong self, and she's now protected, provided for, and feels safe. And naturally, guess what? That strength that she has, that mouth that she has, that defensiveness that she has will eventually subside because she now feels safe. Now, Kizzy, plugging in here, I've dated outside my race. Again, I'm honest enough, as you guys know at this point, I've dated outside my race, but I'm honest enough to say that I prefer black men. But I'm not opposed to dating outside of my race. And I must add that was true for my experience as well. Not one time did I hear, You talk too much. My God, am I a talker? You talk too much. You're too strong. You're too this. Not one time. Not one time did I have to question if I felt safe or provided for. Not one time. But guess what? I've also had that experience with a black man. So that just goes to show, again, it's not one size fit all. All right, back over here to quote unquote weak white woman. That's not me. Weak white woman. And weak, I don't even think he talked about that, or even Mr. Steve said that. I don't think they meant in the sense of weak, like she has no strength. Because again, I know some very, very strong, one of my great friends, right? One of my great friends, she is extremely strong. She's extremely strong, honey. And she just is pale as I don't know what, right? Okay. So the white woman who's been coddled, meaning she's never had to worry. Everyone have always be sure she was safe. Let that be her father's in the household. That can be her first marriage. Like, she's felt safe. She has no worries in the world. I'm going to plug this in really quickly because it just hit my spirit. I also want to say this really quickly. My experience with a white woman, and this can be my own personal friends as well as just me rubbing shoulders all day long in business or networking or whatever with other races. White women admires black women's strength. Even if they never tell you that, many white women admire black women's strength. I'm told that all the time, and I've seen it in action a lot. Because remember, if they've been coddled, they really feel like they don't have strength to really speak up. They can be in very unhappy marriages, but they're going to have to sit there and just take it because they were conditioned to just, let your husband do. You just sit here because daddy took care of you. So you just sit here and just be coddled. Where many of them truly want to go out and do great, powerful things, but they don't even know how to start because they've always been coddled. So what I had said in the recording with Mr. Steve yesterday is one of my friends, not the one who I was speaking about, who's very strong, but on the flip side, I have another white friend who's very, very coddle-like. But she has big dreams and big desires, but she can't. She just can't. So, different topic, different day. I don't even know how I even got off on there. But back to, again, the coddled white woman, and back to the black men who basically have been dehumanized. Well, because now the black man have to basically fight in the street every day with work and the policemen, and trying to just now, if he goes to a quote unquote weak or a white woman who have been coddled, he's not getting dehumanized and belittled every day. So he can do what he wants. Now, people will sit here and say, oh, well, black men want white women or other races because they get to run over them and do what they want to do. And they don't have to answer any questions and all that stuff like that. And again, plugging in from Kizzy, I've seen that a lot. That's true. But I've also seen some white women who will literally go upside your head just like a black woman would. Not literally, but But for the most part, it's true. They don't have to answer questions like where you've been. They don't have to deal with a lot of mouthiness. The white woman has been coddled, so she doesn't even have that type of strength and that raw to even go up against you. So you're going to settle for another race if that's what you're doing. Now, it's one thing to have a preference because we all are entitled to preferences. But if you're going to settle just because you can run over someone, then that says a lot about yourself. You have work to do. Let's go ahead and heal you in those areas from your toxic mother, those times where you were belittled by your boss and the white man and the police and things like that. Let's get you back to your original self and then make that decision. But you're going to settle because you don't want to be challenged. Because you will be challenged with a black woman. Because we see it as, if we can do it, you can do it. I'm a whole woman up over here. If I can do it, you can do it. So we're not going to allow you to just be down on yourself. Now, on the flip side, women, how are we presenting this? Are we presenting this by encouraging them and building them and praying for and with behind the scenes with them? Or we're so tired and frustrated because we're working 2 and 3 jobs as well. We're coming home, have to cook, deal with kids, and he's just, I don't know, maybe not coming home because he's trying to maybe come down of all, he tries to come down from everything he dealt with at work. And because he can't come home and express it to you because either you're not going to understand or because he don't even know how to express it. Now there's issues and fussing and nagging in the household. So he rather stays out to his friends or go to the bar, have a beer, have a drink. Now he comes home, you're thinking he's cheating. So you see how all these issues is just, right? So this is why it's important to learn how to change our perspective with certain situations. We can't put every man in one category. We can't put every woman in one category. It's who you're dealing with. You have to learn who you're dealing with. So then you can change the perspective and apply things accordingly. So if you know you've had a man who's really been beat down by the world, and hopefully he's able to express that with you. Me being the person I am and calls him in, I can tap into that without him even telling me anything that he's been through in his life. So I can already see he's broken, regardless of how masculine he looks. I can already see that he's broken. So now I know with him, I got to shut my mouth. And I have to allow spirit to move within this relationship versus the one over here who you may have to put some fire up under. Some fire up under his behind because he just, I don't know. I ain't got time for that either, but not dating wise, I ain't got to listen. I help you as much as I could, right? Because I believe we should be helping each other. But again, helping and assisting because you may have more experience in a certain area or because you may came from a household who taught you how to complete a resume when you were 9. This person may have came from a crack addicted household and can't even write or read respectfully. But why are we making these our relationship and marriage projects? No. Ask God if this is an assignment and how to help, right? But you can help someone, which we should be, without bringing them into your bed and making them a marital project or a relationship project versus a spiritual assignment. And then even then, after so long, if you realize you're not getting anywhere, you're going to have to just release that thing because it's going to just pull you in. It's watering that grass, right? But you will see the fruits if it's an assignment that God sent you to. Different topic, different day. So anyway, because the white woman will nurture, because she's taught very early on by her mother, watching her mother early on, because her mother didn't have to work 4 and 5 jobs. So her mother could be the stay-at-home parent, cook, clean, and just nurture her dad when he returned home. Right? Which, that's what everyone should, I guess, be able to do, I guess. But we didn't have that opportunity. We didn't have a choice. Our parents didn't have a choice. Our grandparents didn't have a choice. Well, maybe grandparents, but whatever. Different topic, different day. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice to not have that stress of working, running businesses and all this stuff and just all this heaviness on us. Children, household, cooking from scratch, the whole 9 yards, right? So the white woman saw that her mother could stay home and crochet and rock in the rocking chair until the children come home from school. No stress because the dad is dealing with all that stress of the bills, etc. So now when her man comes home, she can really be there for him properly and accordingly. So the white woman saw that. So now, if she's dating a black guy, she coddles and nurtures him and not protects, but receives him properly. He needs that, not want that. He needs that after being beat up by quote unquote powerful white men all day. So she coddles him But she also many times won't challenge him because her mother never challenged her father. Probably wasn't even the need, if we're being honest here, to challenge him, but whatever. So now he feels more relaxed within the white woman's presence because she's not going to challenge him. She's not going to belittle him. And it's sad, statistics, that's why they work. So, there you have it. That's how the gentleman on TikTok, he was probably, let's say he's a white guy. I would say maybe early 40s, mid 40s. He was in. His wife was maybe late 30s, early 40s, something like that. But he was sharing more of his perspective. And then everyone on the comment section was like, okay, I'm never dating outside my race. But you really, really broke that down to a way where it makes sense. And then you have others like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I want to experience a different race. So the point of the matter is everyone had their different opinions, but for the most part, the majority, if not all, understood that perspective. And again, that's not saying that that's the only way it works. I'll give you an example. I am I'm the strong chick, right? However, I'm going to tell you what worked really well as well for myself. A very, not calm, what's the word I'm looking for? Laid back. A very laid back guy. Because see, where the friction comes in is two strong people, right? And keep in mind now, the laid back guy is extremely, extremely strong. But he knows how to let certain things blow over. If it's not anything of importance or life or death, he's just gonna be on that chair like, do what you do. But when it's time for him to really address something or speak up, which then it will be something of importance, there's no friction. Because when he speaks, it is what it is. Because he doesn't speak often. So you know when he speaks, it's something important and something serious. And then you respect that. So it's not that two strong people can't make it. It's two strong people who are the raw people. So if you're the raw person, and then the truth of the matter is, it's not even intentional, right? You're just doing things, again, sometimes it's condition, and you don't even realize it, so you're just in your kind of natural default setting, but when it's brought to your attention, boom, it clicks, and it's like, okay, you're right, let me sit down. But see, they're not trying to change you. They're not saying stop being this way. It's more so less like when they see you a certain way and they check you, then you go back to your intentional self. So there's no friction. The friction comes when you have two people who are raw, trying to change each other versus accept each other's strengths and weaknesses and be able to sit down and have a meeting of the minds when it comes down to important issues. So it's not always about switching your race. If you choose to, do what you do. I think it's a beautiful thing if that's what you want to do. Again, I've dated outside my race. But the point I'm trying to make here is if you're doing that specifically because you think the same race can't make it, that's not true. So for all my strong sisters, my raw people, there's two types of men that you're probably going to run into. That's going to be one, what society deems to be a weak man, a beta male, right? Then again, I don't know. I don't know if beta is considered, for me, I don't think beta is considered as weak per se, right? I see beta just as laid back, right? They may just not be as masculine, but they're not weak. But I don't know. Maybe I need to research more on beta. But the point is, you're going to run into a guy who basically you can run over. You're going to emasculate him like your mother did your father. You're going to lose respect for him because that might be cute in the beginning, but when you realize he can't even make a decision, when you're carrying all the stuff on your shoulders and he can't even tap in and say, hey, sit down, let me handle this. Now you're frustrated because he can't even give you any type of help, but that's the type of man you chose. I know women personally, two in particular, who chose those type of men just to say they have a man and just because they don't want to be challenged. And yes, they've been together for quite some time, but when I tell you miserable and unhappy, calling him all out his name, unhappy. So you may run into that route, or again, the guys who are more, they're masculine, but they're just very laid back. These are the guys you. I just got like a list, literally a vision in my head. These are the guys who are sitting on the couch, watching TV. You're running circles around him, right? You're cooking, you're changing diaper, like you're running circles around him, but he's just calm and watching TV. And then you get annoyed because you feel like he doesn't care, he's just watching TV. And truth of the matter is, that is not something that is serious enough to address. He already know you're going to do what you want to do if he tries to help or not. So he's going to let you do what you want to do, right? But then when it comes down to more serious life issues, these men are not going to even go back and forth with you. They're going to sit you down to a table, just you and him, and look you dead in your eyes and have a very stern but gentle conversation. And it will be received properly. So if you're the strong, rah woman, seek out, not even seek out, but a laid back guy is going to do it for you. Because again, some guys are just as, fire up under them as women. Y'all will never work. Y'all will literally just try to, whew. So I wanted to share that, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, please, 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 this is not a one size fit all. Every white woman is not weak and coddled. Like I know many who are not. Every black man is not dehumanized. I know some very, very powerful black men. Every black woman is not strong to the point where she's walking around with a house on her back. Some black women have been coddled by their fathers as well. So, and then who am I missing? And every white man has not been conditioned very early on to be this leader and to be very successful. In fact, he's struggling somewhere I won't say that. He's struggling someplace else, just like many black other people are. So you guys have a great one. I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Tell me what you think. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.